Hey, it's Max with the Guitar Center. We're here at Winter NAMM 2025. We're in the Casio booth with our friend Rich. Rich, how you doing?
I'm doing good, buddy.
We're looking at the all-new Celviano AP-S200. Tell us a little bit about it.
This is a really exciting release for us. Celviano, as you know, is Casio's most authentic sounding and feeling line of pianos. We reserve the Celviano name for the highest level of piano experience within our instruments. With this new model, we've expanded the line to include anybody that wants a piano experience. Whereas some of the Celvianos may be out of reach of a lot of people, this new model puts a piano experience worthy of the name Celviano within reach of just about everyone.
As I was, getting the model name down, I noticed there's an S in the name, which is not in all of the Celviano models. What does that S mean?
S stands for slim. This piano is little more than a foot deep and gives you, the joy of owning a grand piano style instrument in such a tiny fraction of the space and cost of a traditional grand. And it still manages to present all this wonderful sound at you from these various places in the piano. If you have a small apartment or a dorm room or something like that, you can't have a grand piano. Usually you have to devote an entire room to it. And it's also financially out of reach for a lot of folks. One of the things that we're excited about is being able to bring that grand piano experience into such a small footprint. And it still gives you the vibe of a piano as well. You can see the red felt behind the keys. The key cover sliding closed is awfully nice. The little gentle curves over here on the side, the wood finish. We're very excited to announce it.
To that point, you're bringing it to a newer audience, and so a new level of accessibility. What are the key tenets that still make it a Celviano?
Sound, feel, piano style, experiencing the joy of playing a piano in both a traditional and innovative way.
Well, that's great. I think you just gave us a perfect outline for this video. Let's start with sound. What kind of sounds can a player expect with this?
I'll give you a little example. So that piano sound is a 9-foot German concert grand, lovingly recreated in the AP-S200. One of Casio's great advantages is that we don't make acoustic pianos. We can make our pianos sound like anything in the world, so we went ahead and chose the best in the world.
Yeah, it had such a just a soothing quality to it, an enveloping quality. It's hard to describe or pinpoint when a sound just goes a little further, but it's almost like a really good piece of chocolate. You're just like, that's really good. And it crosses a line almost of like,
Yes.
what a wonderful experience to listen to that,
It might be that you're reacting to some of the stuff that's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So above and beyond the piano strings, you're also hearing the body of the instrument. There's damper resonance and string resonance, mechanical sounds that are very subtle, but they're part of the experience. You
Right.
close your eyes and it's the real thing.
You take it for granted when you're in front of a real acoustic piano, but if it's not there, it's just going to be a little bit off, right?
Exactly. Even things like when you're playing, you'll notice things like the timing of the keys, because when you press a key, the note doesn't happen immediately. There's a slight delay. And this key bed is actually pretty special because it compensates for that with different timings for the hammer response on each individual key. We call it our Smart Scaled Hammer-Action keys, and that's the smart part.
That sounds like an engineer probably spent a lot of time doing a lot of measurements, yeah?
Obsessive, yes, an obsessive amount of time. The attention to detail that goes into the keys, not just what you touch, like the simulated ebony and ivory key surfaces, but the way the key responds to you and the way it interacts with the sound generation. It's musical. It's not, it
Yeah.
feels like an instrument.
All of those little nuances, all those details, important to capture that, but also to reproduce it. Can you tell us a little bit about the speaker system? It's 40 watts, right?
Yes, exactly, 40 watts. And you're right, it's so important to reproduce those sounds in a way that makes it feel pianistic. The sound has to be presented to you in a realistic way. So the speakers are underneath, they're projecting both downwards and upwards into the cabinet, functions as a resonator, and projects the sound towards you from these slits in the soft close key cover, by the way, and also from beneath the keys. So you get that familiar vibration in the keys when you're playing fortissimo that you would expect from a real acoustic grand.
What other really cool features here do you want to call out? Because I'm sure there's a few.
Yeah, there's some stuff that's really, really good for beginners especially. So if I go to my control panel here, I light it up by touching it, and the controls vanish when I'm not playing, giving you an even more immersive piano experience. But here's a metronome. customizable, of course. There's a one-button recorder and an easy way to select sounds over there. The other cool thing is you don't have to use that control panel because this comes with a Bluetooth audio and MIDI adapter. I've got my iPad here, and it's running the Casio Music Space app. From here, I can control every aspect of the instrument. I can select tones, I can create splits and layers, I can adjust what the speakers are doing, I can change the touch response, and I can dig into my favorite part, which is the acoustic simulator.
Nice. You want to walk us through this?
Yeah, this is where you can really tune the piano to react the way you want it to. So string resonance is a very cool thing, and since we're recording direct, I can show you. I'm going to hold down a C major chord, but not play hard enough to where it makes a sound. And now I'll play a harmonically distant note. We don't get anything unusual there, but if I play a C, we hear that C major chord ringing out because it is harmonically related and the felts are lifted off the virtual strings. These are the kind of details that you don't get in very many digital pianos, but are Celviano worthy.
So string resonance, what else do we have here?
Right.
We've got...
Damper resonance is really cool as well. If I turn that on, hold the pedal down. Now you hear the body of the instrument. You hear the tailpiece. You hear that swirling airiness going on. It just completes the image of sitting in front of a concert grand. Then we've got fun stuff like the damper noise. Press the pedal. Hear the felts lifting off the strings. These are the things that recording engineers hate and don't want you to have. You can turn them off if you want, but I love them. It gives you that feeling of playing piano. And we've even got mechanical sounds for the keys. So lots of fun stuff there. You can adjust effects, control the MIDI recorder, adjust the metronome, all kinds of fun things. And the Casio Music Space app, by the way, lets you do a lot of fun things with your piano. By the way, this is a free download for both Android and iOS devices. If I select a song here in the piano roll, I can press play, and we'll see the notes falling from the sky and follow along. It differentiates between the left and right hand. And you can even have it grade you on how well you follow the notes, and it'll give you a score at the end of the piece.
I'm guessing, of course, you can also speed it up, slow it down, so you can really get your practicing locked in.
Absolutely. And you can do that not only with MIDI files, but with audio files. So if you go to the music player, it can play audio files stored on your device, speed them up, slow them down. The app has tons of great stuff for education and for practicing and just enjoying playing music.
We've gone through quite a bit here. You want to give us a few sound demos?
Why, sure.
What are you going to pull up first?
Well, a little more grand piano, I think. It's a beautiful thing to have in your home, which a piano should be.
Those little fine touches that make it a Celviano.
Exactly.
Even though it's more accessible price point wise, it's still got to get those little details that make it feel like it's that class of instrument.
Exactly.
Well, Rich, thank you so much for your time. And if you want to learn more about the all-new Casio Celviano AP-S200, head to guitarcenter.com. And for all the latest new from NAMM, stay tuned to our YouTube channel.